1, and I'm going to start the YouTube in 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, this is Tool Kyer, aka Danny Hafen. We are here watching the LCK promotional tournament to see who will stay in for Summer Split. And I'm here with Visions for the first time ever.
Hello, how's it going? My name is Visions. I am a showcaster. I've been casting for about a couple months now. I'm also referred as Austin Neal. You can go by either one. But we're going to be jumping into this game. It should be exciting, and yeah, we don't know the results yet, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how it goes.
So this patch is on 8.6. It's pretty far back. MSI was done on 8.8, but it should still be relevant to people playing currently. MVP was in the LCK and Ever8 was in their challengers, and this is the start of the 4-team tournament to see which ones will stay in and stay out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, going forward with LCK, there is like a lot of different priorities that they go with for as far as their picks compared to North America or even EU. So I mean, going forward, they definitely go for a lot of like jungle mid synergy. It's probably one of the best synergies compared to any other region. Maybe you could argue that China has that as well. But I mean, it's really interesting to see how they draft that. And obviously, being a promotional tournament where they can get relegated, it's going to be really important on their draft. And I think that LCK coaches and drafts are just so beyond anywhere else in any other region. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun and really exciting.
So this meta was when Talia and Karma were very popular, and that continued all the way through MSI. Also, Skarner, but we shouldn't be seeing much of Trundle or Graves from the jungle. They weren't discovered yet, or at least hadn't gained popularity yet for the LCK playing. I'm not as familiar as I'd like to be with any of these players. They're not the big names from the LCK, but I'm trying to remember Pilot's history as an AD carry. I think he spent a split in a foreign region and then came back. And with this first pick, I'm expecting Karma, just because of the flexibility of that champion. And we won't be seeing Kaisa. She's not live in this patch either.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think Karma being a champion that they're definitely going to put priority on because of that flex, because you can look at that situation going forward for as far as flexing your mid laner. It's super important that way. And it does seem like LCK puts more priority on that more than any other region. Compared to where other teams will pick that up gradually for here and there, but it seems like almost every game that's going to be either pick or ban.
This is the patch that it was ban Swain, ban Swain, ban Swain, as preached by the haters of TSM. Yeah. But it's interesting that Ever8 decided to ban it, not forcing the MVP to make that choice. But we are seeing the Trundle jungle, which I'm surprised it was happening this soon in the LCK. I did not know that happened, and there's the Karma we were expecting. So for 80 carries, Varus is the powerhouse and should be picked up by one of the two teams before the second pick and ban phase. And I would not be surprised at all by that Orin if that is picked, because he's just been super powerful for forever.
Yeah, a super strong top laner. And also to touch on that Trundle, I believe Smithy actually mentioned in one of his interviews in NA that he actually saw Trundle played in LCK before he started playing it. So we noticed how strong of a pick it was because of your early skirmish power, as well as just how strong it is for as far as team fighting, finding picks, your ultimate, being able to shred tanks. So it brings a lot of value to the team. So I do remember Smithy actually talking about that pick coming up in LCK, and that's what he actually got the pick from going forward. And obviously having their run through playoffs and ultimately winning.
So I'm sorry that I couldn't have as much knowledge of these players to give you their preferred picks. But with Kaisa being picked, they must have done it differently in the LCK promotional tournament, allowing her to show up, even though she's still such a new champion for that patch. I'm expecting either a Varus or a Kog'Maw from Pilot as the strong lane, the strong counters, whether it be in lane or in late game for them. And for The jungle picks that are available still, I'm expecting to see a Kha'Zix or a Rengar. It's just those champions were both quite popular in the LCK at this time period.
Yeah, having like a lot of early pressure. I think that Kha'Zix is the big one to touch on. Now that since it was discovered a few months ago that you actually go the R evolve, and once you start building that, or once you start going that first, obviously it's just so much utility for as far as getting into the enemy jungler or jungle, getting around, ganking mid with the mid brush stealth. It makes it so it's really difficult to deal with. And that was definitely a high priority pick, and especially in the LCK for players like Peanut, who can really abuse that. So I'd be surprised to see what we actually do get for the jungle pick for Ever8. Just it's something to be able to match the Trundle's skirmishing power as well as something that'll bring utility. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually end up going with here.
So Visions, I don't have your site, but I do believe that a J4 support, 80 carry jungler will be coming in, and for some reason Galio mid, but looks like I'm going to be wrong on the jungler. It's just I'm feeling Ever8 has a lack of confidence that they can win this, and I was expecting them to go to that tried and true baby cage with Galio that was seen so early on this season. Oh, and there's the Taliyah we mentioned as a strong pick earlier on.
Yeah, the Taliyah really being something that has a lot of priority, being able to try and get the shove on the Karma. Karma has a lot of shove as well, but being able to actually pressure her a little bit more in this lane and then going to the side lane. So, I mean, ultimately, it looks like their game plan should be to really play around their bottom side. You have a Vel'Koz and a Varus, very immobile champions. Taliyah can really abuse that. You can look for the flash binding. You can look for the flash ultimate coming from Morg. So there's definitely a lot of priority probably going to be on this bot lane. It's going to be important for Trundle to look to hover there and make sure he has good vision set up for his bot lane.
I'm actually expecting the Vel'Koz to be swapped and the Karma to be a support, but they have 4 seconds left to make that move. Vel'Koz support is not unheard of in professional, but it is very rare, very rare. It must be one of his pocket picks.
Yeah, most definitely.
So,
I mean, go ahead.
Reviewing the team comps, we have Taliyah, Zac, Kai'Sa, Morgana, and Auron. That is a lot of long-range engage and mobility, but I feel that their scaling potential is slightly outmatched by their opponents because of the more reliable team fighting hard CC that the Varus and the rest of his teammates are going to be bringing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like you look at these two teams in 5v5, and you think that if they get their combos off, or if they get their skill rotation off, you definitely think that with the Vel'Koz, the Varus, the DPS that they can definitely put in, should definitely swing the fight. But it's really going to come down to getting on those immobile targets and making sure that they have the right summoners down. Now, just before we do start the game, I did get a slight buffer. Just want to make sure that we do actually have the exact same time, just to be 100% sure. Can you just confirm your time for me?
My time is 17:35, 36, 37.
Perfect.
All right. We have a 3-man stack happening bot lane.
We do?
Yep. And they're trying to sneak in on the Varus with the Morgana bonding.
I do see that now. Perfect. So, jumping right into this, you can see they are going for a bit of a cheese. Seeing if they can maybe catch Varus off guard here. And he definitely does not have any idea yet. There's no wards in place to really spot them out. So now going forward with this game, what does both teams really want to look at doing as far as this early game? We have the Zac, we have the Trundle, so there's definitely some early gank potential, and there's definitely some setups that they have in their lanes. So, where would you like to see these junglers pressure? Where do you think they're going to pressure? And if you could just give us some insight on your thoughts on that.
For me, I feel that MVP is going to be waiting for the level 6 power spike of Varus. The Shen will also be level 6 at that time, and they will have plenty of potential to kill the bot lane. A Vel'Koz is going to break that black shield off of Morgana quite easily, but up until that point, when Varus hits level 6, the roaming potential of the Talia outstrips Karma, and the gank potential with the distance from the Zax's elastic slingshot is going to make the game they have to play down bot lane perfect, or they will die and they will not be at the correct item spikes and the correct pressure to kill the bot lane when Varus hits level 6.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's a really good point to touch on for as far as just that mid lane priority. You know, looking at this Talia, she's going to get there every time before them. And so I'm curious to see if they can maybe make a play before Shen hits his 6, because once Shen has his ultimate, I mean, this bot lane's going to be able to play fairly safe, knowing that they do have the Shen ultimate. But then it's going to be up to Ornn to see if he can maybe potentially stop that. But that's going to be a big pointer. I mean, the Shen is probably going to play a huge factor in this matchup, and that's going to be the only thing that might delay Ever8 from really trying to force a dive or force a play is because of that.
So MVP's ad should be beating up Wolfie in the top lane. It is considered Shen to be a counterpick to the Ornn because he can prevent the brittle strike being activated by the auto attack with his skills. And I hope they can get some pressure there. Shen has also decided to run Kleptomancy, which will allow him to hit his gold spikes earlier as he trades against Wolfie, though the Grasp of the Dying is nothing to sneeze about for trading as well, if he can stay in combat. We also have the Domination Tree being run by Kuma, so they will have more wards from their jungler because of that, and more scanning. But the press the attack and subjugation from Trundle makes it so those tanks won't be very tanky in a proper team fight, especially with the true damage coming out from the support Vel'Koz.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, even touching on the Trundle ultimate for as far as making sure that when this Zac jumps on your back line or this Ornn tries to come through, you know, popping that ultimate on those guys and really taking away their resistances plays a huge factor for as far as burning them down. And when you have a Kai'Sa and you have this Talia to really deal with that, or sorry, when you have the Varus to really deal with that for as far as shredding, that's a huge factor. And we're going to see Trundle actually going for potentially a gank. They're going to spot that out with the ward.
So,
and Trundle's going to walk out.
What time are you at? Because I'm at the 4:45 in the actual game time. Now 4:50.
Actual game time? Okay, yeah. You have about 5 seconds on me.
Yeah.
You're at 4. All right, I'm at 4:55.
I'm at 4:58, 4:59, 5, 5:01, 5:02.
5:02.
Now at 5:08, 5:09. Do you need me to pause and restart us?
Just a quick pause, yeah.
Okay. The actual game time is at 5:16.
Okay, perfect. All right, 3. You ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we should be good now.
Okay, 5:19, 5:20, 5:21.
Yeah, we're good now.
All right. I was waiting for you to impress me with your incredible play-by-play, but then Trundle didn't go in. He was the disappointed, not you. You are a vision of perfection. Freak, don't abuse me for making bad puns like you.
Oh god, the puns are already coming out. All right. Now we are on the same time, so now we should be good. At least it's the early game and nothing exciting has overly happened yet. So for as far as, you know, these lanes, is it going to be Trundle? It's going to be have a little bit of priority. He's going to spot out that pink ward as well, which was really well placed by whoever ended up dropping that. And Zac's slowly moving to the bot side, might actually look for a gank over the wall here. Or just going to place a ward and get some vision.
So, in the bot lane, though Ever8 has the health advantage, they do not have the potion advantage at this point in support, in my opinion. And they are highly losing in the, well, if Hybrid can hit enough of these last hits, they won't be losing too bad in the CS, but it's still notable. But this is what should be happening. Kaisa is not a strong early game champion. She's supposed to survive. That's right, she's running Doran's shield. But we are about 1 minute off from the level 6 point of Pilot and Max, and I really want to see some death and some kills showing up here. I don't want a first blood at the 20-minute mark. Let's not have that type of LCK game.
Yeah, let's hope we don't get that. I mean, like, there definitely is a lot of kill pressure in this lane. If Varus can definitely start that with his R, you just chain that combination with the Vel'Koz ultimate, and you can put out so much damage so fast, you're almost guaranteed to be blowing some summoners with the Varus ultimate lands. You know, they are hitting that fairly soon, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually go for that. Varus does have the CS lead, so, I mean, going forward, he might just try to look for the back, and then they might potentially look for that, but looks like that's exactly what's going to happen.
I'm just checking the rest of the rune choices. I'm not seeing anything too shocking, except for the Summoner Spellbook on Karma. Most Karmas have been running Summon Ari there instead to make their initial shields bigger, their initial poke stronger. The only thing I hope to see from that Summoner Spellbook is Teleport to eventually become Cleanse. That way the Morgana Binding cannot catch her out, allowing her to position aggressively to get that poke later on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a really good thing to point out, making sure that you do have that so that you're not getting caught out. I mean, ultimately, it should just be Karma's job just to get some slow poke off and just basically spell shield your Varus. That's ultimately all she's really going to be looking to do. But yeah, you definitely want to switch to that at later times. I mean, you do have Gen's TP as well as his global, so it's not like they're short of any map rotations or any kind of globals or anything like that. So it's yeah, it's a good point. And now that both of these champions in the bot lane are 6, it is going to be curious to see if they actually go for something here. You can see that only Trundle's at the top lane, and Zach's hovering slowly bottom, so they might potentially look for this, or they might read that they might go for a play.
If we have time before a fight breaks out, I want to just point out some of the items bought for the first purchase. We have the Tiamat from Shen for lane pressure with a Null Mantle Magic cloak. I'm happy for that because top lane is all magic damage, and with his skills to block auto attacks, he should be super tanky already at this point, even though his main purchase was for Tiamat. We also have the Tear on the Karma, and she had the Null Mantle Magic but went for Aegis to build into it, so she is going to go Banner of Command, which will allow first turret to be taken mid lane no matter what at about the 17-minute mark if it has not been taken elsewhere, because the only person who's going to kill that banner creep is Go ahead.
And just as you're saying that, we do have a fight breakout. Kaisa's going to go really low right now. That's going to be Varus putting out the damage. Ultimately, Trundle's going to secure that. Really well played. No summoners blown, but you can just see right there that Varus ultimate starting up that fight. Trundle coming in, as well as the Vel'Koz damage. You just can't deal with it. And that's exactly what we were talking about. They do still hold the summoners, but just a really good 2v2, really good play by them to make sure that they are abusing that Kaisa early.
Double checking, 10-20, 10-21, 10-22. Is that what you're seeing?
We are good.
Okay.
That is exactly what I'm seeing.
All right. We should get a replay here soon. It looks like they tried to... Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, you can see right here, Varus is going to lead with the ultimate. The spell shield might have been down, so it is a little bit late of a spell shield, whether it was up or not. But you can just see Trundle was in the right position to make sure that his ADC is safe. Vel'Koz is going to help secure that with the damage. Really well played by them. And we're going to have a fight in the top lane. That's going to be an ultimate, not going to hit right away, but that's going to be ADD trying to escape. TP is going to come through. He's going to be kiting back. He should be just okay. He does not blow any summoners. That's 2 ultimates used by Ever8.
So I'm conflicted on that first play that happened a minute ago. Pilot chose to heal, which, looking at the replay, was the right choice to make. But the other choice that could have been made was to call for the Shen ultimate, which is a shorter cooldown. But by choosing to heal and save that Shen ultimate for later, I really do believe they'll be able to get first tower, which they wouldn't have been able to do with the heal. So that is League of Legends. What is the cost of using a spell or summoner now versus using it later? And so I hope they make use of that Shen ultimate here soon.
Yeah, you really want to see them be proactive with that. I mean, what a lot of teams tend to do is once they see themselves get a slight advantage, they think that they can play the game out normal and they should be okay. But I mean, you really want to keep pressing the attack and going for the throat. And because you have this Shen and he's going to have the push pressure because of the Tiamat, I really would like to see this Karma try and push this out with a banner command minion, look to roam bottom, look to use the Shen ultimate, and just basically try and dive and abuse this Kai'Sa and Morgana.
With the Gunsung's Rageblade being finished by Pilot and the Shen ultimate, bot lane is a terrible place for Hybrid and Lucifer right now. We also have seen the banner command minion being used once, and that mid lane turret is almost dead already. It will probably be the first one to fall, and if it does fall, you can be sure that the bot lane will soon follow after with Shen's ultimate and the damage potential they can get out as MVP. Quickly, we have finished a few other critical items. Both junglers have their Cinder Hulk, as well as Ornn finishing his what is that called?
Abyssal Mass.
Abyssal Mass, yes. Which is a perfect item for his team comp, since everybody is doing magic damage. Even Hybrid will be bringing about 30% magic damage late game. So that's a great amp, but I just don't think they're going to get to that point with the Infernal Drake and the Banner of Command minions already, with the First Blood coming bot lane. They are going to get pushed in super fast, and we might see a very clean game from MVP.
Yeah, and kind of looking on this top end right now, we can see Kai'Sa's actually swapped to top side. It looks like they might be setting up a 3-man dive here. This is going to be Shen does have his flash, seeing if he can get out. This is going to be 4 members on him. He's going to taunt away. That's going to be Kai'Sa going to be used. The ultimate's going to come through. Ornn's not going to hit the ultimate just yet. Another ultimate being used. That's going to be, it should be Shen going down here. He does not have a flash to get away from this. Should be secured. Not going over just yet. They want to give it to Kai'Sa, but it's ultimately going to go to Taliyah. So they did actually use quite a bit there, and they do end up losing the bot turret as well. So I mean, it was a lot of investment for just securing that 1 kill on the Shen, and you end up giving over first turret. You end up giving up the bot lane pressure. So I don't know if it was overly worth it for as far as forcing that play.
Honestly, first turret was going to go down no matter what. They were hoping to make a trade of something, but it was done so uncleanly and took so much time. It probably would have been better just to get the CS than to fight for that kill for so long. Exactly. I am slightly saddened for the lack of communication between Ad and Ian, because Ad put down his auto attack blocking skill. What is that thing called? He survived for extra 4 seconds there and could have gotten a speed up and a huge shield from Karma and gotten out with his life, in my opinion. But not knowing that that skill was about to be played, Ian instead just went for poke instead of a shield.
Yeah, he might have been able to make it out. I mean, ultimately, they probably are okay with the trade. They did use so much, and then when they have all this utility for as far as, they use the Case ultimate, they use the Ignite from mid lane, the Taliyah ultimate, the Ornn ultimate. They use so many abilities to try and secure that. I mean, Shen going down isn't the worst thing. He still has a bunch of utility, and he also has his Tiamat completed now into his Titanic Hydra. So that's going to be a big difference for as far as shoving at the lane and also pressuring the Ornn a little bit more as well. And we might see a potential gank in the top lane here. Zach is hovering. Going to go for the slingshot. That's going to land on Varus, and he's going to land the Q onto both. The ultimate coming through. It should be a kill. The pilot should be going down, but the Vel'Kod's ulti's putting out tons of damage. Ultimate's going to come through. We're going to see another one going down. Ornn ulti coming through for the re-engage. That's going to land onto one. Trundo's going to be in a tough position. He's going to flash out. That's going to be the re-engage by Zach. Also another flash out. We have a huge scrap going on here. Both teams now looking to reset the fight. Lots of damage still can come out from this Talia if he can land the combo. But ultimately, we do have a 2-for-1 going over in favor of EEF. And this is going to be a re-engage. MVP going down. Don't agree with that play right there. That was just way too over-aggressive. They have the wave clear there. At that point, you just need to look to get out, and just trading a kill back over for no reason whatsoever there.
So that was a beautiful use of Cleanse and Flash from Max. And honestly, if they had tried to use that as a bait, it would have been done perfectly. Pilot did not flash the Zac engage. That is the problem, though. The true damage from Disintegration was beautiful for ripping through their opponents, but in the end, it was just kills, no objective taken. Even the mid lane still stands. And so MVP needs to be more decisive for what they want and more free with the use of their summoners to make sure they don't get engaged on when the fight's not on their terms.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going back to the fight, you can see that they won it. It was a really nice engage by Kuma, really looking for that slingshot and happening to land it, and then actually getting on the Q off right after. So that was definitely really well played by him. But yeah, you have to expect that if you're playing someone like a Varus where they're very immobile, you don't have the Morgana on your team to spell shield that for you. So you do have to basically flash that, and you're expected to flash that. So, I mean, if Kuma can keep finding these slingshots and keep landing them, I mean, that's going to play the difference, and these fights can really start to swing their way later in the stages of this game.
So, though it's been there for a while, we have yet to talk about it. Max is making his own tier, and that is going to really solidify the complete damage output from MVP. Wolfie and Kuma will never get tanky enough to deal with the shredding power of Varus, of this full AP support of Vel'Koz, and the fact that Subjugate will steal all their armor and magic resist.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And now going forward, we have hit around slowly this. We're going to hit this 20-minute mark, and this Baron's going to spawn. So now, can you guys give us a rundown on what both of these teams are looking to do, where they want to pressure, and how are they going to get an advantage and press their advantage for each team?
Well, I'm really hoping Shen is backing right now to go to bot lane. He has double globals. They should never have to be at a disadvantage there. With his pressure can put out there with his completed Tiamat and the push he can get, where Orin is just building pure 5v5 team fight, I hope that they can get the vision needed.
We're going to see an engage right here just onto Max. Max is going to be taken extremely low right there. Should be a kill going over to Zac, but we're going to see a re-engage potentially by Beyond. That's going to be the pillar. That's going to be the Zac passive also going down. Talia ultimate coming through, trying to block them out. That's going to be Zac going down ultimately, but they're going to be looking for more. Mike just kite out, but that is going to be another one for one. So, I mean, ultimately, these fights are getting really scrappy. Shen ultimate did come through there, so they did happen to use that. Still has the TP, though, if he does decide to go bot, and no one can match him because Orin does not have his TP up for a little bit.
Karma is also still running TP, has not switched that out yet, so if they get desperate for trying to control the side lanes to make the Baron pressure happen, she has that choice. But the other choice is to just put the Baron minion on a Canyon minion in base and head to an opposite lane, because only Kaisa or a turret is going to kill that minion. There is no minion dematerializer stacks left. I don't think there was ever any of them on Ever8, and it should be easy to make a Baron happen as long as Zac does not get surprise super slingshot play. We do see, to stop that play from happening, Beyond with his Trundle has chosen to buy the Relic Shield item, so they're going to have more vision coming out from that once he can complete the quest. It does not look like it is done yet.
Yeah, and also to touch on that, I really would like to see the Trundle go into Zeke's. And actually build that item, because that is just a huge item for as far as once you use your ultimate, getting that down really plays a big part for as far as extra damage that can come in the fight. So I'm curious to see in that, just as we're saying, that does come out. So that's going to be a big spike for him, being able to use that. And this is going to be, a slight goal lead in MVP's favor. So I'm curious to see how they actually end up pressuring the map and really taking it to them, because we've mainly just seen a lot of engages by Kuma, and we haven't really seen anything besides a lot of reactive play by MVP. So I would like to see them be a little bit more reactive, especially when that Shen ulti's down. Potentially look for a play and look to pressure mid a little bit more as they're doing right now.
So, I just want to touch on Zeke's convergence because a lot of people still don't understand what it does. When you ultimate, you create a slowing field around you, and you empower your partner's auto attacks to do 50% bonus damage based on their total attack damage as magic damage. So, Varus is the best target for that, but because he builds mostly attack speed, it's not as powerful a punch as it is on some of the other AD carries who build more traditional crit strike. But still, it is a beautiful item, as we saw, completely and totally in
and we're going to see
MSI.
Trundle getting caught out here. He does not have his flash up, but actually does now, and that's going to be another kill coming through right there for Hybrid. Ultimate coming through onto Kuma. Kuma running really low. He's going to get out. That's the Varus ultimate also coming through, and that's going to be a 1-0 for as far as EW securing that. And we're going to see the Shen pushing in the bot lane. He did use the ultimate there, but I think it actually got canceled, which was really well played by the Ornn, making sure that he can't get there to turn the fight and look for anything more. And he's going to be pressuring this lane now.
So I am very disappointed in Ian at this point. He has been very slow on shields. I feel that he could have gotten there in time to shield beyond Trundle. The Shen, we'd have to see the replay. I thought that Trundle died before Shen could come through, not that Shen was cancelled. We don't have the support crew that professional broadcasters have to be able to go back and look at that for us. But that could have been a fight easily won by MVP had Shen finished coming through.
Oh, absolutely. They could have definitely turned that. I believe I looked like the TP was channeled, but maybe canceled. So I mean, like, we did have a lot of summoners down there, and as well as a lot of few ultimates coming through. But we can see it's time and time again. It's Ever8 finding these picks. It's Ever8 finding these engages and forcing these plays. And we're just kind of seeing MVP ultimately just try and sit back, and they're just playing very reactive. And in a situation where you are the favorite in this matchup, I would ultimately like to see them try and be a little bit more proactive, at least try and get some better vision control. But we're going to see a little bit of a death brush in the top lane. Because of that, it looks like the Dragon might go over to MVP, or at least they're maybe looking at taking.
I'm okay with MVP playing passively with the fact that they have 2 Banner of Command minions and superior globals. But if they're going to play passively, they need to stop putting themselves where they can be picked. And they're not. We do see finally Karma switching out that teleport for Cleanse. I am so grateful that she did that. And now it's just using all the pinks they have in their inventory to make it so Zach can not keep getting those picks.
Yeah, we're going to see an actual engage here. That's going to be Zach not getting anyone over the wall. He's going to slingshot out. Just a little bit of damage going through. Just use the Zach ultimate. That was all that was used there. Actually, the Trundle ultimate came through as well. So both junglers won't have their ultimates for a little bit there. But you can see, Kuma is always in a position where he's trying to find picks, or he's maybe in a situation there where he was a little bit overextended, too far out. And MVP's got their eyes on this mid lane turret, and they do have the Banner Command minion also on the caddy wave.
So Pilot has decided to get Merc Treads, and that is a wise choice. Some of the best AD carries in the world will just go full attack speed and full damage and not build these defensive items. And that's okay, because they know that their team will protect them, and they know they have the positioning to play that dangerous game. But some of these lesser players, still incredible players, kick my butt any day of the week, choosing 1 or 2 defensive items to give your team time to react, to defend you, to secure your mistakes and give you a chance to get out is very wise. And once again, Ever8, their entire team's damage output is probably around 70% magic damage. So, a bit of MR goes a long way at that point.
Yeah, really good item picked up by him to make sure they also, for as far as a lot of CC on their team as well for Ever8. So yeah, so definitely really wise to pick that up. And it's going to be good going forward for as far as not getting caught out, because he is going to be the main damage dealer. I mean, you can argue that Vel'Koz was putting out a good amount of damage as well, but we really will be looking at this Varus to see what he can do. And looks like we might have a turret potentially going down for MVP. Looks like in the top lane that is just going to be given, but they might be trading mid. Looks like they already did trade mid there, so. Just a turret for a turret. I think the mid lane turret has a lot more value than that top lane turret, and it looks like they're maybe looking for more.
So Kai'Sa right now has built Runaan's Hurricane. That was not seen much in MSI, but that's because there was a patch change that made it so Runaan's Hurricane would not stack her passive. But in this comp, in this iteration of the game, it will stack her passive, and it will allow her to shred through her opponents as she gets to free fire.
Yeah, and as we touch on that, when you get to these later stages where she's going to be a huge impact in the game, where she can get that passive off on multiple targets, she's going to be shredding once she has six stacks on that Rage Blade. And just as we're saying that, we have a flash engage. That's going to be an ultimate coming through, and that's going to be a kill onto Sun. Really well played by them. Really nice flash coming out of Pilot right there. Trying to find that, and then the damage coming through. And that's going to be a turret as well as a kill going over, and they are pinging the Baron. So this might be potentially a fight, another fight breaking out here.
The other thing is Zach just finished Knight's Vow and has put it on that Kai'Sa. So she will be quite hard to kill for an AD carry as long as she can keep attacking.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it looks like both teams are going to back off. We will see Ever8 pressuring this mid turret here. This might potentially go down. It looks like there will be a reset coming out of MVP. But you can see just a really nice play, really, and that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them go for that when they have Sun on the sideline, and he knows that he's not in any harm. No one's pressuring him. And we're getting close to that 30-minute mark, so nice to see them go for a proactive play, get the turret, and then pressure the Baron a bit. It will come at the cost of the mid lane turret as well, but we're going to see a little bit more action coming towards this Baron. This is going to be the big objective. What do both teams need to do? What do they need to do in order to secure this Baron? Do they need to try and find this pick? Looking for these junglers potentially, looking for these summoners now that Varus doesn't have his flash anymore? Well, what do you see coming out in the next couple minutes?
So, in the next couple minutes, I need to see Ian do the job of the champion he's chosen. But he doesn't seem to be doing it well because he's building the wrong items and is not in the right position. He's playing like an assassin instead of like a supportive mid laner. To get the vision they need, they're going to need Ian to walk in with Beyond and let Beyond put down those wards from his relic item, because if he doesn't have a speed up to help him get out, he will keep getting caught by the Zac and the Morgana and the walls cut off from the Talia ultimate, and he'd have to use his flash. But if Ian walks in with him with the team speed ups, he won't have to flash to get out of the Talia wall. But they're not working that game, and it's sad to me to see them not playing the picks that they've picked the way they need to play them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it looks like Ian is definitely looking for this more of a carry type of karma, and you just need to accept that when you are playing this champion, you are there to support your AD carry. You are there to make sure you are a utility for your team. It doesn't seem like he's really managed to make that work for him. That really hasn't been his play style going forward so far in this game. Now, it will just be Kai'Sa slowly scaling up, and Shen's just slowly picking at this turret, getting it down to half.
So you can play a carry Karma if you have a tanky support or a shielder support, but they took a Vel'Koz support. Vel'Koz is useless walking in with Trundle to try to get these wards properly. Vel'Koz has to stay safe, has to rely on their summoners to make him be able to do his job and to pop the Black Shield when it comes down. And because they don't have that coordination, these wards are not happening the way they need to.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to see a little bit of damage going down there on Zach. Looks like both teams are just going to walk out, just fighting over that vision control, denying and clearing vision. But we're going to see an engage. You hear the horn, you know it's Ornn. We're going to see the ultimate go through. That's going to be a double knockup landed onto 2. We're going to see Zach pick up 1. And we're going to see lots of damage going through. Zach passive pops. And we're going to see the Talia wall separate them so they can't actually get close and get in there for those autos. Really nice Talia wall coming out of Sun. And they might have their eyes on the Baron because the jungler's down.
So that was a pretty expensive flash Pilot used to get Sun earlier on, because that's why they were able to kill him here. But Sun and Lucifer have both used all their summoners, and maybe MVP can get something back off that. And with the Vel'Koz support, full AP poke, it's hard for them to get this Baron.
Also going to see Shen going down there, so we can see just one target after the other, just constantly going down. They do still have their eyes on the Baron, though. Ornn did TP, or sorry, did just walk through so that he is able to tank that up. And we don't have Zach up for, or sorry, we don't have Trundle up for a little bit here. And this should be secured. That's going to go over to Kai'Sa. So well secured. I don't even think Zach actually smited that. I don't see the cooldown on his smite. So just playing with fire there, not actually smiting that out. And we're going to see the replay here. Ultimate coming through. Really well played. Really nice knock-up. And we're going to see just the damage come through. And just the Talia wall here was actually the difference. You can just see that, you know, Karma wasn't in a position to actually get in there. Shield wasn't in a position to really do anything. So, I mean, the Baron is now secured. Now that Ever8 has the Baron, what do they need to do? What do they need to do for as far as start knocking down turrets, setting up vision? And how are they going to do it? And what is MVP going to do to make sure that they don't actually break the base?
So MVP has put too much gold into a 1v3-1 comp and are not ready for a 5v5 fight. I want to see Ornn ultimate go in. I want to see Zach commit his flash to get hard CC, and I want to see Hybrid shred everyone and everything with a Morgana Black Shield on her back, because they can't deal with this hard engage without the team fighting items that they didn't buy because they went with 1-3-1 items.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and we're going to see that going down. So that's one turret so far. Nice sidestep. That's going to be the flash coming through right there for Vel'Koz, getting caught out with the Talia wall. And we're in a situation where this might go down. Ornn ulti is going to come through again just to knock him back. That's going to be some damage going on to Pilot. Pilot's going to be taken low. Shen ulti going to come through there. So now it's just going to be this cannon minion just hitting on the turret slowly. That's going to go down as well. So 2 turrets going over to the side of Ever8. It looks like they might be backing and potentially looking for a reset.
If they take this dragon, that will be good, because MVP already has 3. There is the power of the Elder Drake that could eventually help them secure a team fight victory, even though they have less gold in the 5v5 team fight item category. But we're at a point where people are getting close to full build. We already have 2 characters level 18 for Ever8, and I think the time has passed for MVP to make their plays. Pilot tried to make something happen, and I appreciate his effort, but it really is a lack of synergy from Ian to play around his team with this supportive pick, I feel, is the story of this mid-game for MVP, and why we've come to a late game that is so terrifying for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to make you think about the later drafts too, and whether or not they end up picking this again, or if they just end up taking it away and just banning it, because he doesn't seem overly comfortable. He wants to carry on it, and he's just not in a position with this draft that he's going to do that. Now, we do have an open inhibitor bot lane. However, it looks like they are pressuring the top side. Ornn is going to come through here. He's going to land onto 1. Ian's going to be knocked up. That's just going to be Sun also popping the ultimate. Not going to do anything, though. Turret should be going down here. Might be looking for a assignment shove. He's going to walk out, and looks like they might be looking for that top tier, too, as well.
At this point, MVP needs to start a fight, but they can't start the fight with Pilot. They need Ad to get a 2-man minimum flash taunt, and then follow up with hard CC. The knock-up from Vel'Koz to an ultimate, they should all be dead from that. But I don't see that happening at this point. Because I haven't seen Ad make an aggressive play yet this game. He's been very split pushy, but that's what his team called for the game, so understandable that that's the only thing we've seen so far.
Yeah, we can see this Kaisa also starting to just rack up the damage right now. Working on her last item there. Once she gets her Scimitar, she will be full build. Now, looking at these two, for as far as the damage, Kaisa is going to be putting out quite a bit with this Hurricane. I mean, you have quite a few champions that you're going to be able to really punish and really just shred down, being this Trundle and the Shen when they're in the front line. And I would really, really like to see them look for this bottom inhibitor, look to pressure that, but it looks like they are pinging for top side. So the Baron is gone now, so they don't have the pressure to do that anymore. And it looks like Slingshot might be coming through, gonna land on a 2, huge ultimate coming out. That's gonna be 2 taken back right now. It's gonna be Vel'Koz going down immediately. Beyond's gonna be really low right now. It's gonna flash out. Shen ulti, I believe, just came through, so he's gonna make it out. Zac passive also pop. Really nice Shen ulti. I don't know if it was down before, if they didn't want to, they were just trying to disengage the fight completely, but at least Trundle does make it out, and it's just just Max going down for MVP.
So I was wanting to say right before that fight broke out, with Death's Dance on Kaisa, with her being level 18 and all these items, Kaisa, if she avoids the CC, could 1v4 MVP right now as long as Pilot's not there. They do not have the damage to kill her. She has too much life still, too much mobility, and too much area effect damage. So if Pilot's dead...
And we're going to see an engage, actually. Lots of damage coming out of Varus. Varus just putting up the damage, stacking up the Rage Blade, but that's going to be a binding coming through, but they're going to defend the inhibitor right there, and it looks like we do get a reset. You can definitely continue on with your point there with the Death Dance and about Kaisa if you'd like.
Yeah, it's just... they do not have the damage. Trundle has 2 support items. Karma has 2 support items. Shen has only 1 damaging item. And with the Vel'Koz being a support, even though he went full AP, they just can't kill her unless she is perfectly CC locked for 3 seconds if Pilot is not damaging her. And
exactly.
The problem is Pilot is immobile himself, and he's going to have a Orin and a Zac attacking him all day long and stopping him from getting his damage out.
Yeah, it's a really good point you bring out about her having to get CC'd, but when we look at MVP CC, we look at, having the Varus ultimate, the Trundle Pillar, maybe the Shen taunt, but ultimately those are all really long cooldowns. So whenever there's this extended fight, or this fight going on longer than usual, these cooldowns are going to play a big factor, and that's going to be available. Hybrid's going to be able to just free hit and just be able to position a little bit more aggressively. But we do have this Baron spawning, so we are going to see a fight break out here. Kuma going a little bit low right before the Baron starts. But this is going to be an ultimate actually coming through for the Ornn. Ornn's going to get stunned up, so he's actually not going to be able to get that on anyone. Talia Wall is going to come through, so they should walk out and they should be okay. But Shen is on the bot lane splitting, and he has his ultimate available.
And I really like this. At this point, MVP cannot 5v5. They need to commit to the items they build, and they need to not get hit by that Zac CC. If they can do that, if they can weather the storm, eventually they will put Ever8 into a difficult situation. Ever8 has not played as many games as MVP has on the biggest stage in the world in the LCK, and they will possibly make those fatal mistakes that will allow the taking of objectives like the Baron or the Elder Drake or a free inhibitor from Shen. They need to dance perfectly and to not step into the pool, which is Zac and his ultimate.
Yeah, it's going to really come down to this good positioning. This Ian coming out with the shields, really making sure Pilot is able to put as much damage as possible, because it's really down to Pilot trying to match the Kai'Sa damage, and I don't know if he's going to be able to, just because of the CC that Pilot has to look out for. There's just so much to deal with. There's so much dive that you have to worry about the front line, while Kai'Sa's just ultimately just putting out so much damage. And this turret's going extremely low. And it looks like we might have Talia might make a play on the Shen here. If they do that, though, they could threaten the Nash.
I believe at this point MVP is hoping to get the pressure to try to eventually make a two-man Elder Drake happen. With Shen's constant pressure he can put on, and the poke from Vel'Koz and Karma, Varus might be able to slip away to two-man take that Elder Drake, but it's going to be a very difficult game to play. And just look here, support Vel'Koz, forcing everybody off the, well, at least to back up off that Baron.
Yeah, everyone getting the backed up there. I do actually just did buffer for me there, so I am getting. I can't actually see the fight.
I can pause again if you need me to. We're at 4:20, 32 seconds, about to start the Elder Drake from MVP, trying to get something back. Do you want me to stop?
Yeah, you just stop it. Sorry about that.
I'm at 4:20, 39.
$4:20.39.
Yep. The Elder Drake has just been pulled out, and Talia Ultimate is down. Are we ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
On the word go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Now we're going to see the Talia ultimate coming through there, trying to block it. And Morg might be coming in the side looking for a binding here. Elder Dragon has been only taken down to about quarter, or only a quarter health has been gone from it, though. We're going to see the ultimate come through onto Ornn, but this is going to be Sun also putting out as much damage as he can. The engage coming through for Kuma. Kuma's going to land the ultimate, maybe looking for 2. He's going to bring them back. Lots of damage coming through. Beyond running low, he's going to go down. We're also going to see that Morg's going to go down as well. Pilot putting out as much damage as he can, but they're just getting stomped right now. Max is the last one. He's going to go down, and that's going to be an ace.
That was an unexpected and beautiful use of a stopwatch from Ornn, and MVP is done. There is no way they can survive. Beautiful team fights from Ever8 throughout this game. Now I want to talk about the next game, what I hope to see. I hope to see Ian on a champion he's more comfortable with. I want to see Max on a more traditional support. It was fun. It helped them win the first 15 minutes, but your team didn't know how to play around it enough. And from Ever8, I want to see their ability to have an advantageous pick ban for them once again, but on the red side this time, if that's what they're going to play. Thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope that we can continue to give you quality productions. Vision?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I think overall the game was really good. I think we had a couple good fights there. Ultimately, yeah, I think it comes down to this draft was definitely the big factor, and that's why Ever8 was able to pull it out. They had more options to pull the trigger, but ultimately a great game. LCK is always a joy to watch, and yeah, thanks for having me.
Until next time, which should be soon. Thank you and goodbye.